20-80 rule. Whatever falls on the left side is our 20%. And whatever falls on the right side forms our 80%. What we need to concentrate on is the 20% that lies on our left side. And for this figure, it has taken these two contributing factors, because if you drop this line here, it will take the first two contributing factor, number 1 and number 2. So the left side forms the vital few. What now you need to concentrate on in step 3. These are the factors that when you look at their causes and tackle and look for countermeasures and implement those countermeasures effectively, then the effects will be seen throughout all the contributing factors. You will have success throughout your problem. That is how we separate the two sides, the vital few and the useful many. Is it clear?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Maybe the one who asked can say something, can tell us whether it's clear now. They can just raise their hand and speak.
Okay, someone is asking, is there any other way we can use to present the same situation analysis in other than the Pareto rule?
Sorry, if I get your point straight. Okay, there could be other methodologies that people use, but for our standard methodology, the KQMH methodology, this is what we recommend, because this one will prioritize on the contributing factors that you need to handle. Perhaps there are other methodologies we can hear from those who are more conversant with different methodologies. But for our standard methodology, this is what we recommend.
Sorry, sorry to interject. Huh? Khadija, is it the same as when we say it is also the Pareto is also the prioritization matrix per se, and as you explained in the next step, that is step 3, when we are doing our fishbone diagram. So for all the factors that we've identified, we shall do we need to plot all of them, or we can deal with the 2 factors rather that we've prioritized? Okay.
Okay, let me respond to that, Yusra. Allow me to respond. Thank you, Mr. Nehemiah, for that question. For lack of a better word, I can say yes, it is more like a prioritization matrix. This one specifically prioritizes the contributing factors that you need to handle. Remember, you cannot handle all the contributing factors. You need to actually use the tool to appreciate the contributing factors that when you handle them, they will bring up good results to your problem. So more or less, yes, it is a prioritization diagram, because it will tell you which contributing factors you're supposed to tackle and which ones can just be assumed. And when we move to step 3, what we are carrying along are not all the contributing factors. Since we have prioritized, it means that we are taking what we have been able to prioritize, what has actually fallen as our vital few. That is what we are carrying along to step 3. And all the contributing factors that have been that have fallen on our left side, that is the vital few, yes, we will have a fishbone for each one of them. We are not having one fishbone, we are having a fishbone for each contributing factor that falls on the left side. So if in your diagram you only have one contributing factor that falls as a vital few, then yes, you're going to have one fishbone. But if you have more than one, it means you're carrying all of them. You have a fishbone for each one of them. Is it clear?
Yeah, sure, it is. So I will have maybe each factor with its own fishbone.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So that is like 2 projects, or
No. Khadija.
No, those are not 2 projects. It is one
that's a one.
project. That is one
But
project.
then, okay, but then tackled in 2 ways. Okay, anyway, it's okay. Understood.
Yeah, depending on where you're standing.
Okay.
Okay, any other concern?
I have a question.
Yes, okay.
Please introduce yourself. Huh?
Yusra, a question.
Go on.
Yes, if you have prioritized your gaps in the prioritization matrix, then in your scores or in your cumulative scores, you find that 2 of them tie with the highest scores. What do you do about it, or how do you go about it?
If I may get let me try to paraphrase. Supposing the first contributing factor and the second one in my table scored the same, let's say 45, 45. Is it, Sophia?
Yeah.
Yes, both of them will actually be on the top of the table. As long as you arrange the frequencies in a descending order. So if there are 2...
so like you will have two projects.
You're not having 2 projects. We are not talking... This is one project. But what we are concentrating on is... how do I put it? We are not doing 2 projects, and maybe we are sorry when we are actually wrong when we say it's actually a prioritization matrix. This one just selects for you. Let me put it that way. This one selects for you the contributing factors that you need to dig deeper and find root causes for. If you this one just tells you these are the contributing factors that you need to go ahead and look for the root causes. When you tackle these ones, then the success will be seen throughout your project. Or maybe Dr. Nema can give us more insight on that question. Kindly just send Dr. Nema here. Yusra, back to you.
Let me give another example on the active case finding. The good example is the department. We have different departments where they do screening of TB, and we have a cascade. So our cascade can also be our contributing factors. So if like purely TB screening, we go departments. So when we are collecting our data, we found out outpatient department, it's like it has the highest contributing factor. And the rest, it's like, it's not much contributing. So in our Pareto here, like the contributing factor 1, it will be outpatient department. The number 2, it can be MCH. Number 3, it can be maybe maternity. So we'll tackle the one which has been, as we've been explained by Khadija on the Pareto chart. So when you're using the rule of 80-20, you'll just see here, it is only one department which is affecting the whole hospital not to have a good screening of our patient for TB. So if we tackle outpatient department, meaning we'll be able to get a good percentage of screen of all the patients come in our facility to be screened. So that is the concept, but it's the same project.
Can I?
Dr. Nema has risen her hand. Yusra.
Okay, Daktari, welcome.
Good evening. Thank you for this chance. Khadija, that was a wonderful presentation. Maybe just to add on, I know this 7 steps Kaizen, out of all the 7 steps, this is the one that is a bit difficult to grasp. But it's important to grasp this at this time, because if you don't get this step right, then it means you'll be moving with the wrong factors in the subsequent steps, and you might end up getting stuck somewhere. So basically, in step 1, you are identifying your problem. Allow me just to take you back a bit. And that is the same problem you are taking a deeper dive into in your step 2 when you're doing your situational analysis. Basically, you're just trying to take a deeper look into your data. You're checking, okay, if it is documentation, for example, which parameters of documentation am I not doing well in? Because all those contribute to your problem. And that is why Khadija had shown all those parameters. For example, if you're doing triage, blood pressure monitoring is part of triage. Temperature taking is part of triage. Weight monitoring is part of triage. Maybe SpO2. So all those are parameters which you will need to measure for you to say, I did triage. If any of those is missing, then you did not triage, you will say. So when you come to look at your triage data and you say, let me look at 10 patient files in outpatient, and you take file number 1 and see it is missing 1 or 2 parameters. Yeah, so you will go tallying and checking which of these triage parameters are missing and which is contributing to the heaviest of the burden. Are we notoriously not taking temperature? Is that what is causing our gaps in triage documentation? So that is how you collect your data, and it's the same data that you translate it into the Pareto chart. The Pareto chart is a prioritization tool. And we recognize that problems are so many, and that is why even in step 1, you use a decision matrix, which is also a prioritization tool. Out of so many problems which you've listed and said, we have all these problems, but you cannot address all of them at the same time. So what do? You put them through a decision matrix, and you end up taking up one of the problems as your QI project to undertake over a period of time. So the decision matrix prioritized for you. And when you come now to step 2, that Pareto chart, the one that you're going to enter your frequency data. Remember, the frequency is the variation from your goal or your norm. How much have you deviated? If it was 10 files, how many files didn't have a temperature? Is it 9? How many files did not have out of 10 a pulse? Maybe 0. So pulse is not contributing much to our problem. Yeah, it is not. It is a contributing factor, but you can tell from the frequency that our issue is not temperature taking or pulse taking, depending on your frequency tallying. When you insert your data into the Pareto chart now, that Pareto chart, when you drop the line, the horizontal line that will run across to meet the bar graphs, that perpendicular line that you drop down, it will prioritize for you whatever falls on the left side. Those are whether it is 1, 2 contributing factors, 3, whatever falls on the left of it, hata kama imekatwa nusu, that is a contributing factor. That is a contributing factor that you will have to take along with you. And the reason we are calling it a vital few is because you might have so many contributing factors, but you will not go in depth checking all of them to see what are the reasons why this is happening. And the reason why you're not going to do all of them is because of the Pareto rule, which Khadija mentioned, that by solving 20% of your heavy problems, the ones that are contributing